Welcome back to The Real Room, where truth meets the mic and the stories rise from the roots. I'm your host, LaCretia Mitchell, and in this episode, I'm sitting down with a man who, the moment he walks into a room, you can't help but wonder what's going through his mind. There's a depth there, a quiet knowing, a mix of wisdom, creativity, and lived experience that makes you lean in before he's even said a word. Anthony Crawford is an educator, a poetic creator, and a vessel for truth, not just in the way he teaches, but in the way he lives. Born and shaped in the vibrant yet complex city of Los Angeles, Anthony's journey eventually led him to Oklahoma. But his path is more than geography. It's a story of resilience, faith, and choosing to serve others even when his own road has been heavy. Anthony has faced seasons of deep loss in recent years, the kind that shakes your spirit and tests your faith. And yet he continues to show up for his community, for his students, and for the art that has always been his lifeline. His mental health journey as a Black man, navigating grief while still standing in his calling, is something that deserves to be heard. In this conversation, we'll explore the history of the Black man and woman, not as it's been told to us, but as it truly is to him. We'll dive into where Anthony believes we originated from and what reclaiming that truth means for our identity and our future. But we'll also lean into something just as important, the inner world of the Black man, the battles fought in silence, the toll of carrying loss and responsibility, and the question that needs to be asked: should more Black men speak openly about their mental and emotional health? This isn't just about art. It's not just about education. This is about restoration, about truth, about finding the courage to keep speaking, even when the weight feels unbearable. Let's get into it. Welcome, Mr. Anthony. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. It's such a wonderful experience already.
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
Well, I appreciate you for saying yes. I do. Just to give a little context to the Real Room fam out there, I've been watching you for years. We established that I met you through my sister, Shantae. And you know, I've been watching your journey. I'm really impressed by what you're doing and how you're serving our community. And honestly, just the work that you're putting in to try to help people be their best selves as well. So thank you.
Man, all glory to God. All glory to God.
Thank you. All right. Before we jump into all the things about you, I want to know something real quick. I do this with every guest. It's this or that. Okay. So I'm going to ask you a question and you pick which one you prefer. Okay.
This or that?
This or that. Okay. Right. You can just say whatever, whichever one. Okay. LA or Oklahoma? I see. I'll put you on the spot.
I'm gonna have to go with LA.
Why?
Home is where the heart is. Even though I know where my lineage is from, but as far as me, my inception, where I'm come from, what I was bred on, it's in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, my family still live out there, so
okay.
Yeah, it's home.
What brought you to Oklahoma?
Langston University.
Come on, talk about Langston.
My father actually graduated from Langston University.
Okay.
His father worked at Langston University for 25 years, retired, worked at OSU for a few years, and retired from there as well. My father was the main reason why I ended up there. I was at Langston at 2 years old. I was at his graduation.
Come on.
Yeah, so he graduated I was 3 years old because he graduated in 93. Yeah, I was 3 years old.
Yeah. Paint the picture for me what growing up in LA was like.
Oh, it was I was a naive child. We lived in the projects, but it was like family. Everybody knew you, everybody looked out for you. So I didn't know I was poor until we moved out of the projects into South Central. And I started learning about society and understanding society. That's why I started rapping when I was a youngster, because I wanted to express my experiences within that. because the high school, the middle school I went to, I had to go through 3 hoods in order to get there, you know?
Yeah.
So that was a different experience. When I got to high school, I had to travel through some of the most dangerous hoods to get to school, you know? So that was my reality, but it was normal.
Yeah.
You know, and I had friends who looked out for me, who taught me, you know, and vice versa. So, you know, as long as you had that type of relationship, then you know, you was good.
It was good. Yeah. So tell me, how many siblings?
Yeah, I got
all the things.
I got a little brother, I got a little sister. My little sister actually graduated from Langston.
Okay.
My little brother, he was ranked in LA in basketball. He went to Manual Arts. Shout out to him. Everybody was calling me, telling me he was the better Crawford. I had to live with that. My little sister, you know, she a Virgo as well. Me and her about, you know, our dates are 5 days apart as far as, you know, birthdays. But yeah, she graduated from Langston. She just as much of an a-hole as me. You know? So that's my heart. But my mother and father, they still together. They've been married since when did they get married? 2006, 2007.
Okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
They figured it out. So yeah, that's my family dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand the men I've been watching for a few years now and just really dive into who you are so it sets the tone for the next few questions.
Yeah.
So growing up, was there anything that you were like, you know, any sign where you were like, okay, I'm different, or nothing like that?
No, because, you know, in LA, the stuff that I was doing was primitive, you know what I mean? The people had the funding, they had the money to do things on a whole different level, you know? So when I came to Oklahoma, first thing I noticed was like, okay, people are not doing certain things out here that I, you know, was doing when I was in high school, you know what I mean? Especially in the education system. So I'm like, oh, okay. So that was the first thing that kind of caught my eye. But then another one was like, everybody was so nice. Everybody was so nice. I said, this Southern hospitality is real.
Right.
Because I met one of my friends, his name was Carrick. And he, you know, he asked me and my other friend who we graduated high school together and went to Langston. He asked us if we wanted to go to the city with him. I said, man, you don't even know you like that. You know, your mother said it's going to be all right. He's like, yeah, I'm trying to tell you, but come on, hang out. And we went to the city, took us around Dell City, you know, took us downtown. We was just like, whoa, you know, 2 LA kids just you know, experiencing OKC life. You know? So it was a fun experience.
Yeah, it's something different. Like, I've gone East Coast, West Coast, traveled the world, and we are very nice. Because when I went to the East Coast, baby.
Where you was at in the East Coast?
So Washington, D.C., Virginia, Delaware. It's just different. It's a different vibe. It's not, you know, it's definitely not as friendly as Oklahoma for sure. So
definitely friendly.
Yeah, it most definitely is. How do you think your upbringing in LA prepared you for the work you do now in Oklahoma? And explain that work.
Oh man, I think it was a lot of programs that I was a part of in LA that kind of pushed me towards other directions, like gang banging. You know, my mother made sure that I was a part of things, whether that was sports, whether that was, you know, after school programs. Like, she made sure that, all right, son, this is what, you know, I need you to do, because, you know, I need you to take education serious. She knew I wasn't going to be no athlete. I was too short. So, you know, she made sure that I, you know, was a part of things. You know, my father supported. He was always just open to who I was. Whatever I wanted to do, they supported. Even if they couldn't afford it, they found a way to make stuff happen.
Yeah.
So I got the chance to experience that growing up, and a lot of my peers didn't. Did I ask you a question? Cause I'll get to rambling.
No, go ahead. No. You answered it. So with that being said, like, tell us the work that you do now.
The work, the work. So the programs I was a part of when I was growing up, one of them was the Boys and Men program out. It was at my middle school, Mr. Rector. And Mr. Rector, he didn't play.
Yeah.
You know, he was also the 8th grade basketball coach. This is when I started playing basketball. And he didn't play. You know, he really believed in us. He wanted to do things, so he created this program to get kids off the streets. And, you know, he really invested his whole life into that program. And he still do the program, too, to this day.
Yeah.
And this was when I was in middle school. This is back in 2003. So he still do that program to this day. And then another teacher, Mr. Marlon Monroe, he taught me about the Black Panthers. He said, man, this is what we got to, he was one of those, I can't call him pro-Black because he knew who he really was. But, he was one of those who taught me about Black history, Black Panthers. I'm like, oh, shoot, this man is serious.
Yeah.
So he helped Mr. Rector out in that program as well. Then going to high school, I didn't really get involved like that. I just wanted to play basketball. But then I got to college, my fraternity. We was doing things in the city when I was when I was an undergrad. I was already in the city doing things even long before then. Stepping for the kids, reading to the kids on Saturdays at Marcus Garvey. It was everything about my life was centered around that. And I remember. I gotta tell this story.
Okay.
I remember this is what solidified it. I knew I need to be working with kids. Miss Edwards was the I'm sorry.
No, you good.
Miss Edwards was the Upward Bound director at Langston in 2007. And I'm pretty sure she was there before I got there, but she was the Upward Bound program. And I didn't want to go home after my freshman year. I was trying to find a job. I was trying to stay in school.
So you wanted to stay here?
Yeah, I wanted to stay here.
Okay.
Because I was like, after being at home, because, Christmas break, I went back home. And after about 2 weeks, I'm like, man, I'm ready to go back. Like, I'm on a mission now. I need to go get this degree. I'm trying to connect. I'm trying to travel. I'm trying to do some things. And, Miss Edwards, she looked at me in my eye. I got a what you call it? I got a recommendation from Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, OG. Yeah. So any recommendation from him is got to be legit. And I used to go to Mr. Brown's office every day because my father used to talk about Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown used to always snitch on my father when he was in college.
Right.
So Mr. Brown, I used to always go to Mr. Brown's office. He didn't understand why, but I'm just like, I don't know nobody.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to connect, trying to figure out what I got to do to find a job. And I know you looked out for my father, so I'm here on behalf of him. He didn't even know that until 3 months in, because he was like, who's your grandfather? Like Robert, he was like, Robert's your grandfather? I was like, yeah. He said, so Puppy, it's your father. I was like, yeah, that's my father.
Yeah.
So I owed a lot to Mr. Brown. So then when I went to Miss Edwards, interviewed, Mr. Edwards was just like, so this is what you want to do? He's like, you're going to be the youngest counselor we ever had. And I ended up becoming counselor of the year.
Wow.
Like the kids voted on that.
That's dope.
Like, I'm like, oh, shoot. So I changed my major to education, English education. And I just been teaching ever since then.
That's crazy. It's just to see how one decision, one action can change almost the whole trajectory of your life. Like that's incredible.
Yeah.
So that's when you knew this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, and you went all in.
It just came so natural.
Yeah.
I was just myself.
Yeah.
And the kids wanted to talk. I'm like, let's talk. They cuss. Other counselors didn't let them cuss, but I'm like, say how you feel. Get it out.
Yeah.
So I kind of always had that therapeutic vibe to me.
Yeah.
And I learned that through the kids.
Yeah. And it seems like you're able to relate to them. Like I've watched some of your videos and I'm like, okay,
I'm acting like that.
Yeah, like dang. That's cool though. We need more of that though. Yeah. I think it's one thing to it's like you think about church, right? Yeah. Holier than thous, they so righteous, right? Yeah. And so I think it's so important for our young people, the next generation, to be able to have people like you, to be able to be real with. You know what I'm saying? Because it's enough crap going on in this world. And if we trying to sugarcoat, oh no, I'm perfect, I ain't never did that. You know what I'm saying? It makes the next generation feel like, okay, then it's not okay to make mistakes, or it's not okay to be myself. And I truly feel like you allow them to be them. And that's important.
It's very important.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that you say that because, my father gave me that room. I didn't cuss in front of my father, but he gave me that space. Like, man, how you feel? What's up?
Yeah.
And that's the type of man he was. Like, he let me be me. Like, I used to wear polo shirts with ties on. He's like, go ahead, that's what you want to do. Go ahead. So I try to get kids that, what I had. These kids, they have a lot to get out. They're going through some things, So if I could be that space for them, then I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to change the course just a little bit. Okay. When you speak about the Black men and women who we truly are, where do you believe we originated from? Because when we had a conversation, I was just like, okay, come on, and just blow my mind here.
Yeah.
But what's your thoughts on that?
So, this ties back into my father. When I was growing up, My mother made me watch Roots, Alex Haley.
We all watched it, I feel like.
So they had me thinking like, okay, this is where we from. We from, and they try to teach us that in school, even though my teacher I was telling you about, Mr. Monroe, he was the only person who kind of like touched on it. But like I said, he knew some stuff.
Yeah.
So he kind of didn't really go in depth about it. He just he stopped at like around like the Industrial Revolution era, like whenever Black people were thriving in America. So that's where he started his curriculum and went on down, because he knew past that was a sensitive subject, especially in California. So but growing up, that's what they taught us, and even at Langston, Langston, they grilled that in us, not sincerely in a serious matter, but in a sense where, like, you got to know this, and and I never really researched it in on it until like a few years ago. I was having questions about my past, like my father sent me a picture of his grandfather, who was Freeman Crawford. So, based off the name, you're thinking like, oh, he was a free man, so blase, blase, blase. And then you go deeper, find out who his father was. Then I found out who his father's father was. And his father was part of this tribe called Catawba tribe. I said, whoa. There's no Catawba tribe in Africa.
Right.
So how did, if my ancestors did come from Africa, how did we ended up in this tribe? Tribes just don't allow people, you got to be born into stuff like this, so that research, when I looked into my own history, that research led me to other research, about Harriet Tubman, Nat Turner, the slave ships. So I'm like, wait a minute, why they lying to us about all this stuff? What is it? And I'm realizing, like, if I could control, what if I could control what you look on as history, if I could control your history, then I could control you.
Yeah.
I can control your future.
So you said that, as far as the slave ship situation, we had a conversation about that.
Yeah.
Explain to me why you think there is, like, we didn't come from Africa.
So the research that I came across, most of it was done by Dan Calloway, but I like to go look it up myself. And my father Ben sent me the video about what Dan Calloway was rebuttaling when it comes to the whole out of Africa theory. And even I have my rebuttals. I'm like, there's a book about this and a book about that. But going back to Alex Haley, like, they lied. Alex Haley went, what college he went to? He went to Harvard. Okay, what else
Didn't
happened?
Know that.
What else happened at Harvard?
I don't know, so you're going to have to tell me.
W.E.B. Du Bois.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, who was his mentors at Harvard? Franz Boas and this guy named Melville Herskovits.
Okay.
Melville Herskovits wrote this book called The Out of Africa Theory. Yeah, and he came up with the whole concept of Black people, us being from Africa. Okay. And he never even visited Africa.
You said something to me when we talked before this. You said, if there was a such thing as, slave or
the slave ship.
Yeah. You talked about the dates. Explain that to me. And this is why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Because I want this to be a platform, like you said, we don't get our education. We don't get our history, right? And so for a lot of people out there, there's people that really don't know where they come from or much about who we are as a people. And for me, for years, I've wanted to know more about where I came from. The furthest I can go is my great grandparents. That's it. Like, that's all I have, right? And I have their parents' name, but after that, like, I haven't been able to find anything. So there is this desire in me to really, like, learn where we came from, who we are as a people.
And I like, the Bible say the kingdom of God is within you. So when the word kingdom itself, when the Europeans came over here to America, they could translate any other word that the Indians were saying other than kingdom.
Got you.
And that's where my platform came from, Kingdom Time, because I knew about the kingdom of heaven being within us, because it says in the Bible, it's in red.
Yeah.
Like, it's Christ saying that. Yeah. I'm not making this up.
Yeah.
So with that, your ancestors, your angels, everything that's a part of you are going to be speaking through you. Like, hey, that desire that you have to know who you are, where you come from, those are your ancestors speaking through you.
Yeah.
Like, hey, like, we exist still within you. Like, you are you know, I've been saying this meme, you are our wildest dreams. And that's
Right.
really true.
Yeah, for
You know?
sure. For sure.
Like,
Okay, the ship situation.
yeah,
Tell me
so-
dates. Give me dates on that.
So some of the research I came across was the rowboats. The only ships that was existing during the time of the Atlantic slave trades were rowboats.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a rowboat is,
Mm-hmm.
right? So how are they able
How
to
in the world?
Yeah, they be able to port 12.5 Africans
Mm-hmm.
to America on those little rowboats. How? How is that possible?
Yeah. So your theory is?
That, you know, we was already here.
Mm.
You know, even Malcolm X said, you know, hold on, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed away. Malcolm X was saying this. Martin Luther King was saying this.
Yeah.
Louis Farrakhan saying this. They've been, you know, the leaders that we looked on as leaders, you know, before all the scandal came out about Martin Luther King and all this other stuff he had going on. But at least at the end of his life, he tried to tell us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
He tried to tell us.
You know, like, I'm talking about the real leaders. I ain't talking about the ones who keep this game going, who benefit from our suffering.
Yeah.
You know, in our ignorances.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think how are you feeling right now? First of all, I saw something last week. I think we're number 50th in education now. And with them, all the efforts that they have made with DEI and taking our history out, like, what are your thoughts and feelings on that?
I might get canceled for saying this.
Listen, y'all, don't cancel the man.
Yeah, she ain't got nothing to do with this.
I didn't do it, okay?
She's innocent.
Listen, no, go ahead. Speak it. And if somebody got something to say, then say it to me. Okay, go ahead.
Like, it all makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, like, I'm not from Oklahoma, so I'm like literally on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
You know, so when I look at Oklahoma and us being 50th in education, I'm like, wait a minute, there's 512 districts in Oklahoma. We're not even on the same page. So, of course, there's going to be some trouble within the education system. We're not even on the same page. And then them get rid of DEI and, you know, Black history, like, we need to look at Black history differently. You know, where did Black history even come from?
Yeah.
You know, where did the whole term of Black even come from? The African American, you know, African American studies actually started out of Harvard as well.
Got you.
So,
Goodness gracious.
You know, like, and these are classifications that the Europeans made up for us. We never got the chance to be like, oh no, this is who we are. Yeah. Because, you know, Asian not gonna call themselves yellow. If somebody who's from Europe, they not, you know, from Italy, he not gonna. Well, I'm French. You know, I'm not white. I'm French. They know who they are. Why we using the color? Yeah. Why we using two continents that don't even...
Come on.
You know?
Okay. Drop the mic.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Nope. Don't apologize.
But yeah, it makes sense. And being an educator in this education system, I see it. Because they don't really want to help these kids. Even the school system is profit.
Why do you think that is? Is it politics? Like what? Help me understand. Is it like there's no hope for these kids, so we're not gonna help?
There's hope.
I mean, I know that, but I'm saying, what is making people not want to help our kids?
You know, I think it's more so just the ideology of, you know, helping. Yeah. You know, we all got an opinion. We all got a solution. Oh, we need to be doing this. We need to be doing that. Okay, well, what operation do you have? Yeah. What are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing on your weekly basis to make sure that our youth have everything they need to be successful? Yeah. Yeah.
50th in the state is crazy to me.
Like it's not even that crazy.
Not in the state, but 50th in the nation is crazy to me. Yeah, that's crazy.
We behind Mississippi. That's
I was like, dang.
We behind Louisiana. You ever heard somebody from Louisiana talk?
Man, listen, I'm not talking about nobody. That's him. Nah, okay, that was him.
It's love. They know it's love. Wah. It's love.
I love me some. Listen, my grandma from Louisiana. Watch yourself.
Oh, she must be Cherokee then. She must be part of Cherokee.
All I know is I just hear Creole. That's all I've been, so I don't know. Oh. Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
That's deeper.
Yeah, is it?
What? Yeah, you might.
See, now we're gonna have a whole nother. We're gonna have to talk after.
Yeah, we can find them. We can find them.
All right. Okay. Question. How do you think reclaiming our true origin story could shift how our people move in today's society?
Oh, we've accepted things that's not even us. Excuse my language, but we've accepted bitches and niggas. You know what I'm saying? We've accepted that. We turned that into a positive term of endearment.
Yeah.
We've accepted African American without doing any type of research behind it. We've accepted the word black, but who were we before black? Negro, right? Or was it nigger? One of those.
One of
them ends. And then before, who are we before that? Colored.
Oh, okay, colored.
Yeah, we was colored.
You're right.
Before colored, we was Indian. Indian comes from the word indigo.
Stop it.
Yeah,
okay.
So.
Okay. I never knew that, never thought of that. Now again.
But to answer your question.
Okay, go ahead.
What they do for us, this is our lands. You got a right to reclaim your land.
I'm about to ask you something based off of that. Do you think that's why they truly don't want us to know our history?
Ooh, I like this question a lot. And I just got excited because you ever heard of the Mandela effect?
Yeah.
So, all right. So they told us that Mandela effect was like when things change or, once the monopoly man had something on his arm, now he don't have it, but he never had the thing on his arm.
Yeah.
The Mandela effect, right? But the true Mandela effect, do you remember what happened in South Africa with the apartheid? So, the same thing happened in America. The Dutch came into, South Africa, came with their laws, came with their paperwork, their doctrine, took over the lands, took over. And, when Winnie Mandela was, whenever Nelson Mandela went to prison, Winnie Mandela stepped up and she was a soldier. She was a general. She went harder than Nelson. Let's be real.
Yeah.
You know how that the divine feminine is, stronger than men. That's why I think, black women is the God, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah, right.
But, she had a different outlook than things. She wanted, they wanted their land back.
Yeah.
So they went against the apartheid. They fought against it. And that's why they freed Nelson so he could put an end to the trouble.
Okay.
So who was our Nelson Mandela in America?
Don't ask me this. You tell me, because my brain's like this.
Martin Luther King. What was Martin Luther King's job to do? To what? Integrate. And what was that integration going to do? Take away our lands, take away our rights, take away everything. And there's this book called The Voter Milestone. I think it was in 1995. You can buy this book on Amazon, and it'll tell you everything that we lost as a people since the 1964 Act.
Man.
Civil Rights Act.
So for me, like when I hear this, and I've heard it, like when you were saying, have you heard? Yes, I've heard it, but I need the people to hear it, right? It's somewhat frustrating at times to hear this and to know like everything that has happened. But I want to be very clear, and you tell me how you feel about the statement I'm about to make. I want to make sure that our counterparts, right, understand that we don't hate them now. Like I don't. Okay, I don't blame them for what's happened, or because that was their ancestors, right? And I think there's that fear that if we speak up or we take back what we feel was ours, that there's this fear that they won't have, or that it'll make them feel bad, or whatever the case may be, right? And it's never, for me, it's not that. It's just I want what's mine.
No,
right?
And one thing our counterparts need to understand as well, they need to be educated as well.
Yeah.
Well, they need to be educated on the fact that whenever the Europeans came, they came as indentured servants. Those was the first real slaves.
Yeah.
It was just so happened where they kept that tradition going when they got to America. They still had their indentured servants, and then they was able to trick the Indians into doing the same thing, do paper genocide.
Gotcha.
They call this the doctrine of discovery, the doctrine of discovery. If you look this up, they'll tell you how it all happened. What treaties were signed, how they were able to manipulate us through languages.
Right.
speaking of language, the first language was what? Sign language. So when
Didn't know that.
Whenever the Europeans came with their, because what they were trying to do was the English language was based off 26 tribes. They was trying to, well, in Latin and Spanish.
Yeah.
But they were trying to figure out all these languages. So that's why the English language was created, because they were trying to bring these languages together so they can translate what these Indian tribes were saying.
Got you.
And within that, I forgot where I was even going with it, but within that, education was created to even educate the Indian people, the Indian children, because they they're still impressionable. So let's get on them, and they've been doing this. It's always been the rule. Let's teach the children the ways, and they'll pass it on.
Yep.
So what was the original question? Because I'll get on topic.
How do you think reclaiming our true origin? Then I asked another question. Yeah.
So our counterparts need to understand, like, they were in those fields first, and then we joined them.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but whenever they was able to take over our plantations, because it wasn't just tobacco plantations.
Right.
We had fruits, we had vegetables, we had civilization. Like tribes had civilization. They already had their own cities and towns and things like this. So most of them indentured servants, those white ones, worked on those plantations as well, because they was looking for a living style. Like, hey man, I'll work for some of your crop. I'll work for some of your land. This is how sharecropping became. So then during the Doctrine of Discovery, whenever European businesses was able to take over and do this, because slavery wasn't how they made it seem. Because if we look at the word slavery, it means employment. Didn't
know that.
A job application is, it's like, hey, I'm turning over my rights. I'm turning over my time and my labor over to your business.
Yeah.
To work.
Yeah.
We still on those slave schedules, that they were then on then, we still on those slave schedules now.
Yeah.
So they just reformed the word. A slave, another word for slave is employee.
Yeah. Dang. Come on.
So, and going back to our counterparts, I want to make sure they understand that the Civil War was fought because it wasn't no North-South. It wasn't like that. It was not like it was a labor dispute. It was a union. We still have unions today. We still have disputes today. It was a union versus the Confederacy. Who was the Confederate?
I don't know. Don't
the
give me the
Indian
line.
tribes. The Confederacy was built on the Indian tribes.
Really?
My great-great-great-grandfather, Alfred Crawford, fought in the Civil War. He was in the Confederacy. He was on the 45th Infantry. He was a war. He was in there.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, he wasn't no slave.
Yeah. Make it make sense.
Yeah, like, so what's going on?
Yeah.
So then when I learned that part, I'm like, oh, this is why the Civil War was fought.
Right.
Abraham Lincoln actually asked Congress if he can go across seas to get more soldiers, get more men to come over to fight in this war. And they still lost.
Yeah.
Our tribes beat the French and the British, but they don't teach us this.
Yeah. No. Didn't know that. But here we are.
Yeah. So, and with the Confederacy, a lot of people in the Union Army left to come fight with us. You know who those people were? Our counterparts.
Okay. Listen, y'all done got educated today. But listen, do your own research. Do your own
ChatGPT
research.
not research.
And that's Google.
Do
your own research.
National Archives.
All right.
Library of Congress.
Come on. Any more? All right. What myths or lies about Black identity do you wish more of us would challenge and reject?
Oh, the term itself. The term itself.
Yeah.
Find out who you really are. The information is out there.
Yeah. Where though?
So when I started, I already did my DNA kit with Ancestry. They already got me for $200 doing that. Spitting in the cup. How you gonna tell me I'm 44? I don't know. So that's what I started with. And then I started doing census records. I'm all like, wait, my family back in LA, they didn't do census records. Those West, whenever, people migrated west, or those West Side Indians, they didn't do census. They didn't believe in them. They didn't trust the Europeans when they used to come and try to get the information. So they didn't go through that. But the South and East Coast, North, oh yeah, they did them.
Yeah.
So I found my lineage through the census records of who their children were. They could read or write. They had all this information on the census records.
Wow.
And I found grave sites. I found land allotments.
Yeah.
Like my people had land. Like Alfred Crawford, when I was telling you about, like he worked since he was working since he was 8.
Wow.
And they gave him, some land in Virginia. That's where my people was from. I thought Crawford was a slave name. It's my sure name. Crawford means river crossing. Catawba means river people.
Wow. You see what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, I'm about to go get on Ancestry today.
Yeah.
Listen, I gotta find out. Okay. As a Black man, how would you describe your mental and emotional journey up to this point?
I'm all the way messed up.
Come on, talk about
I'm all the way
it.
messed up. Just I don't always make the right decisions. I'm getting emotional. I'm only getting emotional because, like, I went to the doctor. And the doctor diagnosed me with anxiety and depression. And that, I feel like I've been knew I felt like I had it, because I lost some things these past couple of years that I never really got the chance to kind of like grieve from or heal from.
Yeah.
Or, had some things left unsaid. So, yeah, it's been tough.
Yeah.
And I don't always do the right things and then have the right outlets. I don't want to blame my upbringing or or blame the nigga side of me or whatever we like to say. It's self-inflicted, most of it. So, yeah.
Let me ask you this, because we talked about this when we met, and first of all, thank you for sharing that, because most don't. I think it's, as a Black man, and I can only talk to what I've experienced and what I've been around. There's a pride, right? And most Black men don't talk about how they're feeling or what they're dealing with, and so I appreciate you for sharing.
Yeah.
But what do you think contributed to everything right now that you're going through? And I just want you to dive into it. You talked about losses.
Yeah.
And so we talked about just the losses that you've taken, especially within the last few months, how that has affected you. And so I just want you to kind of like pour more into that, share a little bit more, because I think it's so important, especially for our Black men, to be able to hear it and you kind of cope through and go through that, and talk out loud about it if you feel comfortable doing it.
No, I do. And it deserves to be talked about. Like, I was in a relationship with my baby's mother, screwed that up, couldn't stop cheating. Being checked out, so it's like I lost a friend too. Then, last year, me and this program that I was working for about 10 years, kind of had a falling out, and things just ain't the same with that. So that was hurtful. I lost 5 students this past year alone. So I'm gonna say school year, so that makes more sense, from like September all the way to about May. And I think another student passed away this summer as well, from Millwood. So we need to really pray on Millwood. Ice Event Center.
Yeah.
I was doing dope poetry night for 9 years, and that just up and stopped. So yeah, I've been in a cocoon, been in a dark place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing to get out of that dark place right now?
Not nothing.
Okay, you don't have to share.
I'm nothing healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
do you see yourself, like, when we talk about the losses, is there anything in your mind that you're like, okay, I could have done that differently, and so I'm gonna move to start changing my actions for the better?
This actually kind of got me back in, cause now I'm doing my own thing. So this kind of got me back in the Word. I was reading the Bible the other night. I'm like, I looking at my notes. I'm like, I was radical with this, So I was back in my Word. Had a revelation. I wanted to You know, I like to do an open mic show. So I'm like, we need to do this at churches. You know, bring all churches together. Let's have a gospel show in which, you know, we'll do this like once a month and invite everybody. I don't care what church you come from. If you sing, do some spoken word, come do your thing.
Yeah.
You know, like I wanted to connect back with my Christian brothers and sisters.
Yeah,
you
come
know? On top of that, you know, it was a blessing in disguise because now, you know, I can focus on my own 501. Do my own thing with that, and do the events, the community events through my 501c3 and really do the work. You know, and not just through open mics, but workshops for the kids. You know, I love the kids. So, you know, especially the teenagers, because they need to know that there's a village around for them, for them to be successful. Whatever it is you want to do, you know.
Can do
so
it. Yeah. You talked about some of your safe spaces, but I'm going to just go ahead and ask the question because it may trigger something else. How do you personally find safe spaces or create them where Black men can speak their truth? What does that look like for you outside of some of the stuff that you just named, if any?
Oh, yeah, man. I got a few friends that I could call on, you know, who live in the city. My boy Jallo is one of them. I be trying not to hound Jallo because he be busy. My boy Julius Koga. You know, we pledged together, so that's you know, we blood brothers now.
Yeah.
You know, my father, I call him my father. My cousin Trey Shine, he live out here too. I grew up with him. He graduated from Langston as well. He pledged Sigma. That's my brother, cousin. You know, that's my boy too. So, you know, we'll get together, we'll chill out, we'll converse. I'm sorry. I'm an English teacher. We'll converse, we'll let out how we feeling.
Yeah.
You know, break bread and, you know, just figure out what we could do better.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's important, especially for men, to have that space because I feel like y'all carry a lot. And it's a little bit harder for you guys to, you know, to share that and let it out. And so I just want to commend you for sharing, but also trying to create spaces and safe spaces for yourself and to protect you and other people. And so thank you again for sharing that. Let's see, I want to make sure I get all the things answered. When it's all said and done, what do you want your students, your community, and the people you've touched through your art to say about you?
Mr. Crawford was real. Crawford was real.
Yeah.
What else they call him? Yeah, I just want them to be like, I mean, Crawford, we was one of the real ones. They say, you don't remember what people said, but you remember how they made you feel. So I want them to be like, yeah, man, you know, Crawford, you know, he made us feel welcome. He made us feel loved. He made us feel like we were somebody.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's important for our youth to feel because some of them don't get it at home.
No.
You know, I remember it was a student, you know, she was calling her mother to come get her from school. And, you know, and mother got on the phone and started cussing her out. I said, oh my God, you know, why are you talking to your daughter like this?
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I'm like, dang, now, time I see her now, I got to pour into her now because ain't no telling her what you saying to her at home.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah, it's important.
Dang. That's tough. How do you balance your mental on top of what your kids, you know, share with you? Like that's a lot.
Yeah. I've had boundaries. I didn't have none. When I first started working with kids, I didn't have none. Like, you know, when I used to be at Douglas, when I used to be over at Sigma Beta Club, you know, those boys were spending that in my house. You know, they was trying to get away from home. They was trying to get away. So, you know, we go, Mr. Crawford, how he gonna feed us? He gonna let us play the game. He gonna, you know, he gonna talk to us. So, you know, I didn't have no boundaries then. You know, I was developing attachments, you know, with these families and these little boys. And then I, you know, was learning like, damn, I'm losing myself, like pouring into it. You know, I'm pouring from an empty cup at this point. So at some moment in my journey, I had to kind of step back.
Yeah.
And when I took that step back, that's when I was, you know, building boundaries, restrictions, limitations. And, you know, but, you know, there's always something to pierce through that. You know, when you lose a student, oh yeah, you're gonna feel that. Cause you know, these kids is young.
Yeah. And not to be able to live a full life, you know.
And we're parents. So,
yeah.
You know, So I just can't fathom that.
Yeah. What has that, I mean, you talked about five kids so far, right? And I don't even want to say so far. God, take that.
Yeah,
That ain't, I didn't mean that.
Yeah, not
Five
that,
kids, not, that's it. But 5 kids, what has that emotional roller coaster been like? Because, you know, we pour into our kids and we want them to have the best, but then, you know, to see that happen and families have to deal with that. What has that been like for you, and how have you made sure that the ones that are here, that you're still loving on them and letting them know that they're worth every bit of this life?
I mean, you know, I was just like the kids. Like when it happened, and you know, I'm just in shock. Like this can't be real. Like it don't even feel real.
Yeah.
You know, so because of that, you know, and I know, you know, ever since when Mark Carter got killed, I stopped going to funerals. Like, I told myself I can't keep going to these young people funerals.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so and Mark Carter got killed in 2016. He was 14. It's why, you know, I see everybody doing their rodeo thing, and, you know, that's history right there. You know, black people were the first cowboys. So I love seeing that, but I just can't get my energy to it because, you know, young Mark Carter got killed. There wasn't no marching, no peace walks, no nothing. So, but then months later, a black dude got killed by a police officer. Now the whole world is up in shambles.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, I'm confused about how we do things when it comes to certain stuff.
Let's talk about that real quick. Cause I be like, why are y'all doing that? What is happening? You know, explain to me, like, just your thought on, you know, protest and things like that. Like, I think some things, and this is just my opinion, you can say what you want, right? And I don't get political, that's just not me. I don't get into all of that, but I do see, like what you talked about, the young man dying, like that's, for me, we have to be their voice, right? And then you said a few months later, then the police situation. I think some battles we need to fight, and some just ain't ours, and it ain't gonna make a difference. That's just my personal opinion. What is your thought on it?
I think, you know, protesting and marching could be effective.
Yeah.
You know, if it wasn't orchestrated by people who wants to control it. You know, you know, we're the gang. Let's let the gangsters do the protesting and marching. Like, hey man, let's take back your streets. Let's do a peace walk. Let the gangsters do it.
Yeah.
Those supposed to be our protectors anyway. Those supposed to be the ones who supposed to be looking out for the communities anyway. That's what they was made for. So, and that goes back to what you asked earlier. You know, what if we knew our history? What if we knew our past? Oh, if we know that, then game over.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why they don't want us to know the things that we was talking about, because what happens is that kingdom of heaven will wake up within everyone.
Right.
Oh yeah, a lot of businesses going out of business.
Yeah. Come on, we are the most, like, I just look at all the people that I'm around and the tables that I sit at, and I'm just like, it's some amazing people that really, they're amazing in what they do, but if they truly like knew truly who they were, like themselves, like, oh man. And I believe that. I believe that that's why they work so hard to not allow us to know who we truly are, because they're afraid that if we do,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. And not in a bad way, but we could do some major things. Like, just what you talk about within this world and the strides that we could take to be able to help people. I don't believe there would be homelessness. I don't believe, like, all the things, right?
Thanks.
And so it just kind of blows my mind just to think of how hard people fight to make sure that we don't know who we are, which is even more reason of why I want to know who I am.
And I'm glad you mentioned the politics part as well, because if these politicians really doing their job, you know, this would be like paradise out here. You know, we got Congress who discuss things and, you know, help create the laws, but why the laws ain't geared toward what you was talking about when it comes to homelessness? Let's take care of our homeless problem.
Right.
They can do that. They can do that with the lottery.
Yeah.
You know.
And I thought that's what the lottery's for. As far as education. And why anyway, yeah.
So, you know, it's just, The system is geared towards, pimping us. I remember that in the movie, when you was talking about some people knew who they were, what they could do, the power they could, possess. And that made me think about, we're the engine that drives everything in America. Everything.
Yeah.
Trends, everything you can think of. It's just that they patent it.
Yeah.
We came up with the air conditioning. We came up with a lot of inventions. The street light. It's just they patent it.
Yeah. Yep.
And make it their own.
Yep.
So we're the engine that drives everything, right? And it made me think about the movie Sinners. They was calling the Indians engines in there. I'm like, oh, the word engine come from, saying the word engine, and engine is the same thing, ingenuity, and genius. I'm like, oh, that even comes from the Indians. That even come from us. So we're the ones who drive everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Last question, and then I'm going to let you say whatever you need to say and get off your chest.
Alrighty.
If you could leave one piece of wisdom for the next generation, what would it be?
Know who you are. Because in knowing who you are will open up everything in life. Yeah. Everything. Everything you want to know. All the answers are within you. So in knowing who you are is going within yourself to figure out, what you really like, your preferences, your views, your outtakes, your intakes. Everything is within you. So if you just take that serious and, love yourself, ain't no telling what blessings may come for you.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
No, thank you.
What didn't I ask? What do you want to share?
Rhythm and poetry coming soon to a stage near you. Keep y'all Wednesdays open. We gonna keep this poetry thing alive, man. It's important that people have a safe space, a safe haven to come to express themselves. And poetry has always been that. We have privacy events going on. We have our second installment this Saturday at Melly's. Please come out to that. It's $10 to get in. We still selling tables. If you're a vendor and you want to sell your items and your products, hit me up. Follow me on Instagram at the Hood Teacher _, the Hood Teacher _ on Instagram. Crawford Anthony on Facebook. I had to flip my name because I was banned on there. Other than that, just, keep following and keep growing. Let's build up our community. Let's keep building each other.
Yeah, I love it. Anything you need to ask me?
What's your vision for this? Where you trying to take this?
Let me see. No. Listen, if we get some brand deals or anything like that, I'm down. No, really, this was all about creating a safe space for people to be able to share their stories, like just have real conversations. And my mission in this life, my calling, is to educate, empower, and encourage people. And so I get to do that in this platform. And I love what I get to do. I love having people like you on to be able to do all of those things. And so, I there's no limit. Like, God is in control. I just show up. I got my dope producer over there, Taylor.
Taylor.
We do our
Taylor
thing.
Code.
Taylor Code.
Shout out to Taylor, y'all.
And so he lets me be me in this place. And so that's what I get to do. So that's it. That's it. Wherever God takes it. Yeah. I appreciate that question, though.
Yeah. I think the people need to know, your intentions and where you about to take this so they can be first witness. Yeah. Your fans. Around this time, this is where you build up your foundation. So, and it's looking pretty nice for you. It's looking pretty nice for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, and I'll be honest with you, it was never for the following. It was never, like, I'm always about let it touch the one that it's supposed to touch. Like, whoever God sends it to, or whatever the case may be, like, let it be what that person needs.
And that's why it's even better.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Now God can use you as a vessel. Like, oh, we got somebody genuine over here. Yeah. So remember, he sent the angels in there, Sodom and Gomorrah, to say whoever, if you can find anybody righteous, save them. Yeah. So and that's what you're doing. You save them. Wow. Giving the safe spaces and safe havens.
You're not about to make me cry.
Let your people see it. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Yeah. Anything else, sir?
No, I'm grateful for this. I needed this. I needed this conversation. This is therapy for me.
Good.
Yeah, and then something we gotta get the couch with the
the legs up, then you'll be asleep. Then we have a problem. I can't make you too comfortable.
Yeah, you're right.
I truly do appreciate you. And, I just want to make sure you got out and release everything that you need in this moment before I end this thing.
Yeah, man. Shout out to my daughters, LaCretia Crawford, Kaya Crawford, my angels. Thank y'all for choosing me to be your father. For sure.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you. I appreciate it.
Rhythm and poetry coming soon. One more time, because that's gonna be the new baby right there.
Rhythm and poetry.
And it's always kingdom time. Can they see it on Kingdom?
Boom. Y'all got that.
Never mind.
They got it. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. They'll see it when they come to the rhythm and poetry, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. There we go. All right. Thank you again. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story with us. And to the Real Room fam out there, listen, do your research.
Thanks.
Learn about you and who God has called you to be. And I truly believe if you know who you are, you'll know whose you are, and everything from there is only up. You can only get better. So until the next time, see you in the Real Room.